Mary Burnett Talbert is a strong, proud figure in Buffalo's Black history. Mrs. Talbert was best known as a civil rights and anti-lynching activist, a suffragist, preservationist, international human rights proponent, and educator. Born September 17, 1866, raised and educated in Oberlin, Ohio, Mary Burnett Talbert, the only African American woman in her graduating class, earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Oberlin College in 1886. With that, she accepted a position as a high school teacher in Little Rock, Arkansas. She taught science, history, math, and Latin at a local high school before moving on to teach at Bethel University. In 1887, she was named the assistant principal of Little Rock's Union High School, the only African American woman to ever hold such a position, and the highest position held by any woman in Arkansas. In 1891, Mary Burnett married William Talbert and moved to Buffalo with him. Here, she was a founding member of the Phyllis Wheatley Club, the first in Buffalo to associate with the National Association of Colored Women's Clubs. In 1901, Talbert founded the Christian Culture Club at the Michigan Avenue Baptist Church. The Phyllis Wheatley Club later established a settlement house and helped to organize Buffalo's first chapter of the NAACP in 1910. Mrs. Talbert was fundamental in the founding of the Niagara movement. She organized protests because of the exclusion of African Americans from the planning committee of the Pan American Exposition. She served as president of the National Association of Colored Women for several years, transforming the association into a national institution with structure and organizational procedures. She was also vice president of the NAACP. Mrs. Talbert also served as a Red Cross nurse in France during World War I and sold thousands of dollars of Liberty bonds during the war. She offered classes to African American soldiers using her teaching background and was a member of the Women's Committee on International Relations, which selected nominees for positions in the League of Nations. Mrs. Talbert is considered a pioneer in international organizing efforts, a voice for African American women, and a highly respected role model for developing Black female leadership. It is said that she was the bridge between generations. The 19th century abolitionists and freedom seekers like Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and Sojourner Truth, and the developing civil rights leadership of the 20th century. After the war, Mary Talbert returned to Europe to lecture on the importance of women's rights and race relations. In Norway, 1920, Mary Talbert addressed the Fifth Congress of the International Council of Women, where she was the first African American delegate. She said, "The greatness of nations is shown by their strict regard for human rights, rigid enforcement of the law without bias, and just administration of the affairs of life." In 1921, Mary Talbert became chair of the NAACP's Anti-Lynching Committee. The next year, Mary B. Talbert became the first African American woman to win the NAACP's Spring Iron Award, the organization's most significant honor for civil rights activity. Mary Burnett Talbert died in Buffalo, New York on October 15, 1923, at the age of 57. She was laid to rest in Forest Lawn Cemetery. Her legacy lives on through many things in Buffalo, including the Mary B. Talbert Civic and Cultural Club, which gives scholarships to African American students and donates to other groups in the community as a way to carry on Mrs. Talbert's mission.